If you're wondering whether a mobile heated cabinet is the right investment for your small catering business, or just a kitchen sidekick for home entertaining, you might be asking, who actually benefits from this kind of equipment? Who should walk away? And does the price make sense for a typical user? The biggest hesitation I hear from people in the food service world is the fear of spending a lot on a piece that ends up taking up floor space without delivering reliable heat when they need it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the real-world situation that most buyers find themselves in and see whether the Cres Cor mobile heated half-height cabinet lives up to its promise. First off, the concept is simple: a half-height cabinet you can roll around, a built-in 900-watt heater, and a lift-out interior that lets you pull the whole storage space out for easy access. For a food truck operator who needs to keep a few trays of sauces warm while moving from one spot to another, that sounds perfect on paper. The aluminum body is marketed as hi-tensile, meaning it should hold up to the occasional bump in a busy kitchen. The insulation claims to keep heat where you want it, and the magnetic latches are advertised as anti-microbial, which is a nice touch for anyone worried about cross-contamination. Now, let's talk about who actually gets value from those features. If you run a pop-up coffee stand and you need to keep a couple of small pans of oat milk or pre-made soups at a serving temperature for a few hours, the cabinet's lift-out design lets you slide the whole section out and serve without opening a door and losing heat. The pan stops that create airflow help prevent hot spots, so the food stays evenly warm. For that narrow use case small batches, short service windows, the unit can be a convenient, space-saving solution. On the flip side, if you're a full-scale caterer handling dozens of dishes for a wedding or a banquet, the half-height size quickly becomes a limitation. You can't stack large trays, and the internal volume is modest enough that you'll be constantly shuffling items in and out to make room for fresh dishes. The 900-watt heater will keep a few small pans warm, but trying to maintain temperature across a larger load will push the system to its limit, and you may notice the interior temperature dropping after an hour or two. In other words, the cabinet is built for modest, focused tasks rather than high-volume, all-day service. A practical weakness that shows up in real kitchens is the power draw. A 900-watt heater isn't trivial on a typical restaurant circuit, especially if you already have multiple appliances running. I've heard from a few small business owners that they needed to add a dedicated outlet just to keep the cabinet from tripping a breaker during a busy lunch rush. If your venue already runs close to capacity, you'll have to factor that into the total cost of ownership, which isn't reflected in the sticker price. Mobility is another double-edged sword. The cabinet rolls on wheels, which is great for rearranging a cramped prep area, but the wheels lock in only one direction. When you need to pull the unit out onto a slightly uneven floor, say, a concrete slab at an outdoor market, the wheels can wobble, and the whole thing feels a bit unstable. The magnetic latches are easy to snap shut, but they don't provide a hard mechanical lock, so if you accidentally nudge the cabinet while the heater is on, the door can rattle open just enough to let warm air escape. That's not a deal breaker, but it does mean you need to be mindful of placement. The antimicrobial claim on the latches is a thoughtful addition for health-focused operators, yet it's more of a marketing perk than a functional necessity. In a busy kitchen, you'll still need to wipe down the whole surface regularly, so the latches alone won't keep the cabinet sterile. Still, the fact that the manufacturer thought about a hygienic surface shows they're aware of food service concerns. So who should buy this thing? If you're a food truck rookie, a farmer's market vendor, or a home entertainer who likes to keep a few sauces warm while guests mingle, the Cres Cor cabinet hits a sweet spot. Its compact footprint, easy rollout interior, and modest heating power are just enough to keep small portions at serving temperature without taking up a full-size oven space. The price point may feel steep if you're only using it once a month, but when you spread that cost across weekly events, the per-event expense becomes reasonable. Who should skip it? Large-scale caterers, banquet chefs, or anyone who needs to keep multiple large trays hot for extended periods will find the half-height design too restrictive. Also,